This is Fictional Problems, the podcast where we discuss all things writing, in association with Speculative Fiction Ireland. In this episode, we dive into the value of reader comments, the power of a perfect mic drop moment in storytelling, and the surprisingly flexible rules of killing vampires in fiction. We also think about kicking off our campaign for every TV show ever to have at least one zombie episode. Finally, we talk about why long-running franchises might actually benefit from disappearing from the public consciousness for a while. Join us. And welcome back to Fictional Problems, the podcast where we discuss all things writing in association with Speculative Fiction Ireland, with your host, myself, Gary J. Martin.
And me, McNevin.
Yes, indeed. And I'm just going to hand the mic straight over. Well, I don't have to hand the mic. You have your own mic.
One would hope so.
But I'm going to just pass it over to you there. And you can explain what we are going to talk about today.
So we have had a bunch of fictional comments that we have used to ask ourselves some questions.
Well, now canonically, I can't put this episode ahead of those fictional comments episodes.
We will have them.
We will already have had be able
had in the future past tense time travel.
Here we go again.
Or because if you've listened to them, they were wonderful. They were great. They were a bunch of lovely named individuals. Who inspired.
Yes, we're hoping this is going to be a continuing segment of our podcast is going to be our fictional comments.
Yes.
Hopefully someday they won't be entirely fictional either. They'll actually be genuine actual comments
Listen
in relation to fictional problems.
Listen to them.
One can but hope. But
okay.
Currently they are fictional problems being addressed by fictional comments.
Yeah.
Of fictional people.
So this is the rapid fire one. So I'm going to start our clock, and this is the rapid fire one. That the other ones were a bit more in depth. These are just the previous ones were fictional comments. This is fictional. Just the things that kind of keep on jumping out to me. I started making a list, and I went, hang on, they don't make full episodes, but they're more than just a throwaway. So
together they make this an entire episode. Is what we're hoping.
Well, yes, yeah. Let's see how this goes. So,
yeah.
Example one, or comment one. So a while ago, there was a reader of someone else's book who commented on a Twitter tweet that they felt that the book was bad, that because it was made up, it felt like it was made up as it went along. a prominent writer in the self-published sphere, in author tube or booktube, as it's like to be known, took umbrage at this, saying that all books are made up as they go along. To which they got a huge amount of likes and retweets, and of course, and denigration of the reader. Now, as I said before, it doesn't matter if I agree with the reader or not.
Yeah,
they get to make their own opinions. They have whether I agree with them or don't agree with them. I respect their opinion. They have decided to take X amount of time, X amount of their valuable time, and give it to an author to read their work.
Yeah,
that should be, at alone on that level, that should be respected.
Yeah.
So this person,
build a bus,
denigrating this person, using them and dismissing them, so I found abhorrent. Again, this reader wasn't referring to one of my books, one of Gary's books. It wasn't referring to anything we know. So this was just a reader having a reaction to someone else's book. And it was the line that all books are made up as they go along. No fucking book worth its stripe is made up as they go along.
No.
You may have the first draft is made up as they go along.
Yeah.
But the book itself isn't.
Has been through an enormous amount of work.
My God. And it is the lack of awareness of this.
Yeah.
It's like, does this other author, is that how they write their books? Is this how she operates? That she just goes, no, I'm just going to write it, done, I'm done.
Yeah.
No, that is just I was about to say, if you're lucky enough to be able to, but even that, reading through that, you write your first draft, and like,
Yeah.
as I've talked about my process in the past, is as I'm writing, I'm correcting as I go.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to do a rework on it at some point. I'm still going to do a cleanup. That maybe the version between the first draft and last draft, maybe a few percentage points in the difference. But those percentage points matter.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be helpful, I suppose, to know what the book was, and had we read the book, be able to kind of say, is the comment, just from a devil's advocate point of view now, not necessarily siding one way or the other.
Sure.
But could the comment possibly have been relating to the feeling that reviewer got, was that the plot was weak, or that things weren't consistent across the story, as in the characters weren't consistent, or you know what I'm saying? Are there elements that the reviewer is specifically talking about in general terms that we don't understand exactly what they mean, because it's such a broad comment? It feels like it was made up as they went along.
Yeah.
That mightn't be exactly the correct way to articulate what that reviewer might be thinking, in terms of, they set up this at the start and it just went into the ground, like set up this subplot and it never resolved, or it felt like the author forgot about this character that had, could have been important or seemed important at the start, and then the author didn't like the character, so didn't put them in the rest of the book. Things like that are possible, but
yes, but and as you said, you're playing devil's advocate. I thought it doesn't matter, because I don't think there's a devil's advocate here, because in that the reader gets to decide.
Yeah,
and because we talked before about a comment you got where they said the characters were great and the world building was great, and they still give you a shitty score.
Yeah,
so there is still that reader gets to decide.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it doesn't, and indeed we're talking about a tweet, so we're talking about 144 characters.
Yeah,
so they can't go into massive.
Not very expressive.
Yeah. So, and again, so I wouldn't question the initial comment, because I'm questioning the comment that the author made.
Yeah.
Because the reader is the person that we are addressing.
Okay.
And yes, they can be wrong, and yes, we can disagree with them. But and as I said before, that someone who gives me a 5-star review, which I've had a number of, I would disagree with them because clearly, have you not read all these other fucking really good books?
Yeah, like if it's a scale of 5, then you're talking certain books are
fives,
and
then
and like, I'm not as good as that.
Yeah, I would say that, I may change over the course, and some of the stuff I've written, it's almost an arrogance to say, yeah, I'm a 4-star writer, but I aim I aim to entertain. I aim so I'm not. And whilst my more recent stuff is verging more into the personal than has been in the past,
okay,
and I would. By that nature, I would like it to be more high profile, more high value.
Yeah,
because it's more high value to me. That I would aim to be, good, very good, maybe even excellent, but not god damn amazing. So
well, don't sell yourself short.
But it's because it's not an aim of mine. As in, if I'm looking at my reviews and if I see nothing but 5 stars, I'm going, no, that's wrong. If I'm seeing nothing but 3 stars, I'm going, oh, that's wrong.
See nothing but 5 stars, thanks, Mom.
Exactly. But well, that's the thing. No, I've never pushed people to read my work.
Yeah.
That it's every person who has put a review down is someone I don't know.
Yeah.
So when someone goes, I really like your stuff, it's like, Grant, enjoy it. I've never asked for someone to put reviews in.
I've seen these things on Instagram where you get a message from someone going, oh, I just found your book. I think it's amazing. I'd love to do a review. And you're like, really? €35? And you're like, I will never pay for a review.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck. Thanks. But apparently people are like, these profiles would have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers.
Yes.
and you're just going, like, I guess there's a business there, but
Yeah, and if
paying for reviews feels abhorrent to me.
if it was a genuine review, then yes, happy days. I would happily participate if someone came along and went, "I've read your work. I want to," because that their business is to promote. Essentially, they're promoting themselves by using the content that you're creating. So if they said, "I read your book," or "I've reading your series. I would really like to get you on for a interview," for example, because their product is you.
Yeah.
Then I would have no problem doing like, "Good, happy days. Let's do a phoner. Let's do whatever, you know." And
don't look to charge me for it.
Yes, or indeed, and the flip side is you paying the author to participate, because that's the other side of the equation.
Yeah.
That as in you will pay George R. R. Martin to do an interview. You won't pay me or you.
Yeah.
As in, money shouldn't be changing hands at that point.
Yeah.
But I have no problem in participating in the advertising process, in answering, you know, authentic questions.
It's a difficult thread to kind of to put through the needle, because money is part of the industry, you know, and there's a lot of back scratching. There's a lot of different influencers and different interviewers and different like podcasts and different things like that, where it's like, oh yeah, mutually beneficial. We'll get someone big on here to have an interview with them, you know, or someone's going to have us on the radio or something like that, where we can discuss. But don't pay me for it. I don't want to be paid for that, and I'm not going to be charged for that either. I just feel like the money element kind of infects the integrity.
Well, I would say that if you got to a point where your time has become valuable.
Well, okay.
And I mean the top of 1% of 1% of 1%. I'm talking about the Christopher Nolans. I'm talking about the George R. R. Martins. I'm talking about the people who that there's a value attached to their time. Yeah. Then sure, happy days, pay them for it. But I remember, I think it was when Kevin Smith was doing his tours, where he toured colleges. That's the start when he was large and good. Okay. He talked about how actually one asking him, "So how much you get paid for this?" And I go, "I can get paid for this."
Yeah.
Really? He was on his own dime. He was hopping on a flight, then driving, you know, hours from one airport to the college. Then he would put himself up, do the thing, and then drive home again. Yeah. I would drive to the airport and then go. So I was like, I can get, like.
But doesn't that feel like there's a lot more integrity to what he's doing, because he wasn't getting paid? He just wanted to do it for the love of what he wanted to do and talk to people. And
I don't know if
maybe spread his word, like his popularity again, or.
I'm not. I don't. I think that it's grand, absolutely, 100%. But I think that there is a. So I'm putting myself in the position. No, I want money. No, if there will be a point. Like I said, so I'm 100% agreeing with you that any of the like advertising we do, we're not getting paid for. Not going to get paid for. That's all grand.
Yeah.
At some point, however, should we become successful? Should we become as the 1% of the 1%?
Yeah.
The talked of people, then we'll get inundated with. Or sorry, the successful writer gets inundated with requests.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it will be the case that what changes which requests you do, you'll have certain organizations that you'll go, yeah, free. No problem. I want to support this organization. I don't like this organization. I'll do that. Happy days. But there will be kind of the bigger, say, media organizations will go, yeah, we'll cover your costs. We'll get, you'll have a per diem of this amount.
But you won't say anything we don't like. Perhaps.
Oh no.
That's where it's like,
that's an integrity thing.
Yeah, that's an animal.
Because what I would like to think that I have enough integrity to say I'll have final draft. Thanks very much.
Yeah,
I'll make sure that whatever the interview is, it goes out full. That if they ask me a question, I'll fucking answer it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, so this was a much longer one than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
But it was just
we moved into ethics and
exactly. But it's the idea that this person, and the thing is, I don't know the reader. Yeah. I don't know the author, and I don't know the books they're talking about.
Yeah.
They could have been talking about any kind of book, but it's just the reaction of the Twitter reaction, the likes, the retweets of this person. No. You're actually wrong.
You mean the rage-filled hellscape that is Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've avoided it like the plague.
And I think I avoided this too. That this caused me to walk away from a certain online group because several people of that. It's like, of course she's right. It's because of her popularity rather than because of her words.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. So the value of the mic drop moment. So
now, just for the listener,
yes. So
our single listener, just explain.
Yes, for Bob, who should know this by now.
What is your definition of the
mic drop moment? The moment of that's actually do I have a definition of?
Well, I don't know. I think it calling it a mic drop moment is fairly self-explanatory.
Then
however,
why am I having trouble explaining it? Because the mic drop is where you can drop and get the audience reaction, the audience applause.
Yeah.
The everything is the last note of the song, the last line of the speech, the culmination moment of dun dun dun.
In terms of a magic trick, it would be the Prestige.
It would be yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So where you it's the punchline to a joke, mic drop moment. And actually, I might as well mention this. So as I mentioned, I'm working on Quantumancy 4, and I'm working through a chapter. And I get to a point, and I get to what is a mic drop moment.
Okay,
where absolutely it's a 5-6 word statement, and I go, yep. And it was 2 a.m. when I was writing this, and I was planning on another section of part of this conversation.
Yeah,
and my fingers just left the keyboard.
Because I know, I'm done.
Because I've now more to write for these two characters' interaction. I've got more to do, and I've now got three options, because the next thing that's going to happen is going to go, as with all the Quantumancy chapters, we're going to leave that character for at least 2 chapters.
Okay.
Before coming back to them. So the rest of the conversation that I want to have is now temporarily fucked.
It's on pause.
So, and because the next chapter will happen many as a time later. So it's not like where you have a start of a question. You ask a question before getting into a car, and then you get the answer when you're getting out of the car, as is how so often happens. It is, and so the 3 options I have is I ignore the mic drop moment.
Okay.
Because and this is about the value of that. Ignore it and continue on writing, and then have an ending to that chapter which may not be as punchy.
Okay.
I write up the piece that I want them to have, and then put it later in the conversation.
Yeah. So.
Or I ignore that part, or I rework the rest of the fucking narrative.
Oh boy!
To adjust to that statement, right?
Wow.
So
that's a pretty big mic drop moment. So
it just felt so nice.
Yeah, and that does happen as writers when you just I don't know. Sometimes it's a case of when I'm rereading, in particular, like earlier parts.
Yep.
Of an hour, if I'm well into a story, well into a narrative that I'm writing, and it's a case of, okay, I'll just go back, and there's parts you read and you're just like, yes, did I write that?
Yeah.
It's like, that's pretty okay. Yeah, well done, me.
Yeah, I call them the muse moments of I didn't write that, someone else wrote it. As in something worked through me, because there is, and it's those moments that really get me writing again. That they're the ones that kind of go, yeah, I am, because there's a whole other conversation we could have about why we're good writers, which we'll get to, why we think we're good. But it's those micro moments, those moments that go, hang on, that works so fucking well. And it's among all the other stuff that needs to be done in order to get that.
It's like hitting a bull on darts. Oh,
yes, like
when you want to.
Exactly. And this is the thing, that you search so long. Like, say, the third book of Quantumancy, the Edgar story, again, ends with a mic drop moment. And I was so fucking proud of that moment that I was like, yep. Because
I'm just gonna leave it up there.
Yeah,
that's it. Leave my hand up there.
Yeah, it's such a like, to use something that I can reference, because all our readers, sorry, all our audience needs to do is read all the Quantumancy, because they're fucking there.
Yes.
It's like the Buffy moment in the Glory season.
Okay.
Where Buffy lays down the law to the Watchers Council, and she's going, "This is about power. I have it. You people don't."
Yeah.
And
down goes the mic.
It's a wonderful line, but it's the real mic drop. That's what sprung to mind, because I watched that bit recently, and it's just a wonderful scene. But what people have complained about in subsequent to that is the making a joke. and the head watcher goes, I say, Buffy asks the question. I want Quentin to answer this question. What kind of demon is Glory? And Quentin goes, well, that's the thing. She's not a demon. She's a god. And but Buffy's reaction was, oh. But and I showed her to be weaker than she was. I showed her to be kind of the little girly kind of, and that undercut. But it was still funny. But you still had that one scene, but you had the moment that the mic drop was like that actual piece has a multiple moments of like the sword throw where she said, I did tell you to shut up with no interruptions, and when they list through,
he's flexing,
or when they're listing through the Scooby Gang, it's like we're talking about 2 very powerful wishes and a 1,000-year-old ex-demon, and one of the guys goes, well, what about the boy? There's no power there. It's like he's clocked more field time than everyone. That line, because he is the weakest of a lot of them, and and he's like, it's
definitely a sign of mutual respect, like that.
Exactly.
Given him,
So, but that's the sort of the moment where you go, that's fucking great. And how you since you search for them so much, you want to have that really kind of moment for yourself. The reader may not see it, but you knowing that, okay, that's what I want to do with this character. This is what I want to do with the story, as where something maybe planned or maybe not planned. You have that moment,
something that makes the audience go, oh
no, but it's an audience, but it's an audience of one. The reader may not see it.
That's
what I'm saying. That you going, oh yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
So I was going to say, I recently had I'm currently listening to the Dungeon Crawler Carl series.
Sure.
And there was just a part, which I'm not going to spoil, but it's in the 3rd book.
Okay.
And I just remember when it happened, I was like, oh shit. It's like, I did not see that coming. This is like...
But it makes perfect sense in the story.
Yeah, completely, yeah. But when the thing happened, I was just like, oh my God. Like, it throws you and it gives you that reaction. It's a beautiful reaction. I love it when I can get that from a story and get that from a book. And just that kind of like, that's it. Like, this is going to have wild implications that I did not see. Like, it just... the story is going this way and it just takes a left turn, and you're just like, oh, that's brilliant. I just, very well written, loved it, right at the right point. It's just like one of those moments. It's just a great moment at exactly the right time, and it changes things.
Sure.
Which is great.
I just wanted to point out to our listener that when Gary said, take a left turn, he pointed to the right. I thought, you're not driving again for a long time.
Thanks for that. Yeah,
no problem.
It's like, I know which hand is which, right?
Most
you go right or you go left, right?
It's the other left.
Yeah.
Grant. So we'll button up down.
Brilliant.
The next piece. Again, so and this is something that I think I mentioned before, but I want to kind of, I guess, encapsulate a bit better. So the Max Landis, the screenwriter, who I think also has been cancelled. It's like, come on, look at another one. But I never thought his work was very good. His father's is John Landis, great filmmaker of his time, American Werewolf in London, the thriller movie or the thriller
music video.
Yep.
Michael Jackson.
Yep. Great. So Max asked his father how to kill a vampire, and
I am getting flashbacks to our first episode here.
Are we? Oh, yes. And then this is the
our second.
So the father went, okay, well, they'll tell me how to kill him. And the son went, okay, well, you can use garlic and you can use sunlight and you can use. And the father goes, no, vampires aren't real. You can do whatever the fuck you like.
Yes.
And this always comes up where in kind of conversations about world building and about which is my kind of bread and butter, that they know a vampire exists. The term vampire exists in the zeitgeist. It represents whether it be represents danger or represents a blood-sucking fiend. If you use the term vampire in a sci-fi setting, if you refer to it as something I always often touch on to, a vampire class starship.
Yeah.
What can that and everyone who is listening to this who has any sort of science fiction or fantasy awareness goes, okay, so it's a stealth ship, right? Okay. So
it's a warship, right?
It's not a fucking cargo ship.
It does damage.
It does. Oh yeah. This is fucking going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be
a badass ship. Already.
Is it going to be pink or is it going to be black? It's
definitely going to be black.
Yeah, and rarely sparkles in sunlight.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a stealth ship, or it's going to, or say
sleek.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sleek. Yeah. It's going to be sleek. It's going to be sexy.
Yeah.
And these are and everyone's going to come to this. Why? Because the term is connected to has got attributes.
Yeah. That's ironic then if you were to say like, oh, vampire class and this is a clunker of a junk ship.
But the thing is, you can do that if you want to subvert expectations.
It's like, why did anyone call that a vampire class? It's stupid.
Like you could call it, say if it's a Conan class starship.
Yeah.
And either it's Conan the Barbarian or Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
And two of them would have a completely different effect.
Skinny ginger ship and there's
exactly. Or one big fuck off battleship.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to call something a Dominion class vessel.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be a fucking tiny thing.
Yeah.
You're going to,
it's a one person's
one person's scow or something. It's not going to be that. So the term already has power. Be aware, but you can do anything with it, but be aware of it. If you introduce two characters in a story talking about, it could be a vampire, and at no point does it have any of the vampire tropes, then the person who mentioned the thing is an idiot. Or the reader is going to interpret it the reason why I mentioned this earlier on, but the reason why I kind of wanted to mention this today is that there was and I'm going to take a tangent because I like to do that. There was and I'm going to forget one of the authors, Bertrand Russell, and another author who's I'm going to forget the name of. They in the 1800s, I think, whenever Bertrand Russell was around, 1800s, 1900s.
Oh, maybe he's around for all of history. Was he a vampire?
He looked like he looked like a zombie, or he looked like a mummy, in his old age. There was a point which the mathematical community went, okay, let's narrow down to see what we can prove on base principles, and the idea of let's prove that 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah,
and because there is ways through algebra you can prove that 1 + 1 = 3. That this pure algebra.
Now we're doing maths.
Through the rules of algebra, it can be proved that's the case, right? Or like or 2 + 2 = 5. Basically, because of how we trust these mathematical tools, we can, because simply you can have 1 + 1 = 2. I have one thing, I have another thing. Together, there's two things. Yeah. Combined, those two guys wrote 3 volumes on how to prove 1 + 1 = 2.
Okay.
And they went down to the linguistic level. What is a 1? What is a 2? Yeah. Is a 2 simply twice 1, or is it this is
philosophically speaking, what is 2?
Exactly, but they went into minute detail of how to interpret 1 + 1 = 2.
Okay.
And it is a fantastic treatise. I have looked at it. I've never fully read it because as much as I might think of myself as a data scientist and I use statistics and all that jazz, there's some things that are still beyond me, and they will ever forever. But this is a well respected treatise on this topic. You're not going to have people are going to assume the term vampire is loaded with meaning.
Yeah.
You are delivering that term to your audience as this is a packet of meaning that I'm giving to you. When we talk about dragons, and you can talk about dragons as, do they have 2 legs or 4 legs? Okay.
Yeah.
But they all have wings. Do they all fly?
They don't all have wings.
They don't all have wings. Some Eastern dragons don't, but they still fly. So, and you can do that with do they breathe fire? Yes, no. Do they breathe something? Yes, no. You could have there's sets of
lizard like. Yes.
Yes, but they're all lizard like.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some things that are universal, like say
Except the Luck Dragon, who's more dog-like in Neverending Story.
But he
Falcor.
did have if you I was about to say if you skin him. if you
don't skin Falcor.
But if you remove the fur, you end up with a Eastern style dragon.
Yeah, he was scaled.
Yeah,
but the face is more
of a dog. Yeah, but that would make, I think, we could say that more friendly, and indeed that does lend to what I was just about to say, was that you have a packet of understanding of this term, and then people could try and add things to it.
Yeah.
For example, sparkliness.
Yeah.
This was added the twilight of the reason why we are so tough, that we have skin of diamond. We are beautiful in the sun. That's why we don't go into the sun. It's not a harmful thing. It's a reveal thing.
Yeah.
As a concept, grand.
Yeah.
Did that take a catch on? No. So, but it still exists as a potential part.
And it's still addressing a part of the vampire lore, which is sunlight in some way, shape, or form. Exactly. What does it do to them?
Exactly. Yeah. So it is still saying that this vampire, they may not drink blood, they may be vegetarian, they may all if you look at Stephanie Meyer's vampires, they're closer to fae than they are to vampires.
Yeah.
But she's still invoking it and she's still bringing them in as part of her story.
Yeah.
Because I imagine it's like that SNL sketch of say what I am, you're Frankenstein's monster.
Right.
You can, or was it comedy or one of those things, but because you have only so many words, admittedly 100,000 of them or so, to deliver the story, you can't parse, or you can't reconstitute, or you can't essentially give someone a treatise on how to figure out your terms.
Yeah,
you have to accept that they'll know things. And the thing is, the reason why I want to mention this is, again, because of the story that apparently, of the videos we apparently both have witnessed or watched, about the author, the AuthorTube person a writer who wrote a few very terrible books, and the reviews that were very entertaining. That when you're doing your world building, you have to be aware of the terms they're using in order to keep that person inside that world.
Yeah,
you can't use "Hey, dude" if you're in a fantasy thing, or you can, but you have to accept what the author will have the effect.
Yeah,
that if you want to have a certain type of person, a certain type of character, there's this whole podcast would never list out rules of what you must do.
No.
But you need to have an understanding of the effect.
Yeah, exactly.
That you don't have the full control. You can't reconstitute vampire to mean something else.
Yeah, and you can't put in the reader's head, no, this is what I mean.
Yes.
Because unless you have a glossary at the back going, if you thought when I said vampire on page 16, this is the type of creature that I actually meant. It has these properties and these, you could do that. You could have a glossary at the back that explains your version of the term.
And indeed, if that's so important to you, then it's like, so you can say that this thing is a vampire because of why.
Yeah.
If they don't drink blood, if they don't not
they don't fly and change into bats, and
again the Lost Boy vampires flew, but they didn't change into bats. So but they did have kind of a bat kind of like sound when they flew.
Yeah. The running water thing is part of vampire lore.
Exactly. The
invite into the house.
Exactly. These are all important aspects that you don't all have to use. Indeed, you can't have characters inside the narrative discussing what kind of vampire you're doing. Like the whole classic Scream idea of let's deconstruct what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
That there's I wrote an unpublished RP years ago where a role playing game where the last chapter was essentially about how you can. You are the one who determines what kind of vampire you're dealing with, or what kind of werewolf you're dealing with. Because, say, take the werewolf, is it a biological creation or is it a curse? If you are making every step along that path you make,
magic or virus, or
exactly, or vampire, magic or virus, is it a psychological thing where like Nick Cage, or is it a bloodborne thing, or is it analogous to AIDS, or what are you trying to do with it? You can do
all valid, whichever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This shouldn't mitigate the validity of the use. It's when you invoke a term and don't use it.
Yeah.
That's the real.
It's funny when you're saying about the terms and specifically vampire, but I was reminded of how in and across 11 seasons, I think, of The Walking Dead,
Right.
no one ever says the word zombie.
Yeah. They couch it in southern they roamers or
There's
walkers.
roamers, walkers, the dead, even, but no one says the Z word.
Yeah,
no one calls them zombies.
I think that's right. Or if they say it, it's very, 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 very rare.
Well, I don't remember anyone ever using the word zombie.
I don't remember either.
Series,
but I just want to put a caveat of well, in episode 3 of this.
Oh yeah, welcome that comment if someone.
It's very possible but the primary description is absolutely not a zombie.
Yeah,
because and you could say that's because they're avoiding the term for various reasons. There's an old TV show called Ultraviolet. I think it was BBC or Channel 4. Channel 4. Fantastic show. 6 episodes long. Jack Davenport, who went on to bigger and better things, is the one of the stars of it. And it's about vampires. And they refer to the hunters refers to them as code 5 or code or code.
They don't call them vampires.
The term is never mentioned across the 6 episodes.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
It's fantastic because and they invoke in fact it's a reverse of what we're talking about. They invoke the qualities.
Yes, without the label.
Yeah, they don't record, as in their voices don't record. They can't talk over phones.
Oh, okay.
They don't reflect. There's one episode about a potential vampire pregnancy. So when they're doing ultrasound, there's nothing in the uterus.
Okay.
So they are using all the tropes without invoking the term.
Yeah.
But that's what it's about. So it's a wonderful way, whether it be Walking Dead or this other show, the writers are setting up the thing they're using, the language in which they're using it.
Yeah.
And saying, no, this is how we do things.
No one can say that we did zombies wrong because we never said zombie anywhere in the whole series.
No, but that's the opposite of what I'm saying. That anyone looking at the Walking Dead doesn't have to have the term. When they look at Ultraviolet, they don't have to say, oh, they didn't do vampires right.
Yeah.
No, they spent their time going, here are all the quality. Actually, Idris Elba is also in one of his first roles.
Okay.
Fantastic in it. They tried to make an American version of it, and he was the only actor they transferred across.
All right.
But ultimately never happened. But in that regard, you don't have to mention the term. You have to build essentially they're building the pieces.
Yeah.
And they just put a different term on top of it, which is great.
Yeah.
So it's when you hear Shambler, when you hear Roamer, when you hear Walker, you know exactly that they're referring to an undead zombie. I say they're looking to because zombie has undead connotations, that they're back from the dead, and undead tends to be mystical.
Yes.
As opposed to animated corpse, which is sci-fi. So by not using the Z term, they're not
magically reanimated corpses. Yeah. So they aren't zombies.
Yeah, well, the thing is, but even if you have someone in world saying zombie, there's no harm in someone saying. But the fact that no one has is the author's decision to go. We are staging away from that.
Yeah,
no one will refer.
I suppose traditionally, zombie with the term zombie was exactly like you're saying. It's the magically. I mean, I think it dates into kind of voodoo
and Haitian culture. Yeah.
Haitian culture, whereas that's where the term zombie,
I believe so.
Yeah, and that's again mystical. It's magical reanimation of the dead.
Yeah,
which is not what they are in The Walking Dead, but everyone calls it. Oh, it's a show about zombies.
But they never go into detail about what it is. Yeah. They reference it to be infected. Sorry, that someone who initially they go, if you're bitten, you come back, but then they realize that people who haven't been bitten, who get
die of natural causes,
or shot to the head, or they're shot, they still come back. Yeah. As long as the brain still exists, then they come back. Yeah. They do have a CDC episode where I think it's the end of season 1, where they all get to CDC.
Yeah,
and the CDC guy guy is like, I'm the last one left. Everyone else is gone.
Yeah.
Here's a body, and he's about to reanimate, and they see him under an MRI or something like that, and it goes, and it's completely dead, and then it's like flash, as the brain comes back to life in a form of a way. He's like, I have no understanding of this at all.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that science current science doesn't have a way.
Yeah.
Actually, yes. So that's on that. So that then leads on to. So these are meant to be quick firing topics, and we get
That's all good.
Get stuck in the weeds. But from that one, another thought I had this week. This is Al's thoughts of the week.
Another segment, new segment on fictional problems.
The idea, and this is goes from the zombie point of view, because in the Walking Dead comics, they had a special episode. I think it was episode 100, where they were basically made a sci-fi.
Yeah,
it was a special one-off. It was not continuity, where they all had laser guns and they were running and shooting zombies.
Okay, like an arcade game.
Essentially, but they changed the genre and they changed the effect of it.
Okay,
and earlier in the week, I think, or the last previous week, I saw a snippet or a trailer for an episode of Nathan Fillion's show The Recruit, and they go to a campus and apparently there's a zombie outbreak.
Okay,
and I just suddenly went, okay, I want every normal TV show
to do a zombie episode.
I want The Pit to do a zombie episode. I want, whether it be Castle or Recruit. I want to be
or Scrubs.
Scrubs. Yeah, well, I maybe they avoid the comedy. Well, actually, no, yeah, fuck, do the comedies too. Yeah. But everything from because every genre can have zombies in it. Any like Deadwood now with zombies.
Yeah,
I would love to see like basically 1 week where every episode of a TV show was just zombie focused. Where as in completely no continuity with either themselves or with the other shows. Maybe do it that we're doing Zombie Week, as in the networks do Zombie Week, and it's like, okay, it's all the shows say that it starts on this day and ends on Halloween. As an example, right? That the
short little run.
Yeah, that there is a similar structure to all of them. So when the sun rises on the 1st of November, the zombies all die out.
Yeah.
And they go, and they survive. And it's like, tomorrow will be another day, and then the next episode,
everything's back to normal.
Nothing has happened.
Yeah. Although I do remember watching the series with it was called Bones.
Yep.
There's Emily Deschanel.
Yes, and
David Eldridge and David Duchovny.
No, not David Duchovny. David Boreanaz.
David Boreanaz. Yeah. Yeah, and there was just one episode because it was a same network show.
Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow.
I have vague recollection. Yes.
Yeah. So Sleepy Hollow was about Ichabod Crane, who is in the modern day now.
Yep.
And that's more spooky.
His sassy black cop.
Yeah. Yep. And it's a kind of a supernaturally kind of spooky type of procedural TV show.
Yep.
But there was a crossover.
Yes.
Into Bones, which was very scientific, very practical, grounded, most grounded.
Yep.
The character is Bones herself.
Is an anthropologist.
Yeah. And exceptionally grounded in
science.
In everything she does. And David Boreanaz, again, FBI agent, practical, pragmatic, and now you have some guy, Ichabod Crane from the 1700s, is now standing in the lab in Washington, D.C. And it was just like, no, I'm not interested in this episode at all. No, oddly enough, I was just like, there's a spooky element that Dr. Brennan couldn't figure out. And you're just going, yeah, that's because it's magic. And it was just, it just jarred. It just, for me, it just felt like those two specific shows.
Maybe maybe they were too far away, as in one's too grounded and one's too supernatural. Yeah. But this sort of thing reminds me of the paintball episodes from Community.
Yeah, I was going to reference them
because they are fantastic.
They're amazing.
They are just the first one especially.
Yeah.
And the first one, the second one, great. The third one, okay. By that stage, Harmon was no longer involved, so it was like, okay.
They'd run through the joke at that stage.
Yeah, but it was there. It was just it sided. Basically, it took all the characters, and especially the second one, it kind of shoved them to the side.
Yeah,
and made them different versions of themselves, and they could play with it. And and then
it was really good.
And at the end, reset.
Because it was just one day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or was it over?
No, it was one day. It was, as in Jeff Winger basically falls asleep halfway through the day, and then goes for a nap, and that when he wakes up, he wakes into it.
He's in a paintball apocalypse.
Yeah, like the only other caveat I'd add is like, say, because there was a play that I've looked for this subsequently. I can't find it. The play was called something like Duck Rabbit Duck, and a guy I know, a former writing collaborator, turned director. He, as a stage director, he got this play, and it's a two-person. Sorry, primarily it's a two-person play. There's a third person who walks in, and it's basically two people in office. And slowly over the course of time, one person, they start off the same level, and one of them basically becomes absurd. I think Brazil, Monty Python kind of absurdity.
Okay.
And the third person is comes in to add like staging to kind of go, this has to happen now. And at one point between two acts, between like the second and third act, this, as it starts going absurd, the dominant character and the basically the helper character essentially chop off the fingers of the chop up the fingers of the other character.
Yeah,
and like with a Black and Decker thing. And this is a stage. This is in this small stage in Dublin City. And it's a great production, and I really enjoyed it. But what the director was telling me that on one of the occasions, they left the fake fingers on the ground between acts, intentionally.
Okay.
So when the actor came in and looked down and he walked around to get to his mark, he walked around them, and it was just a nice little moment. So the idea of you have your zombie episode, and then the next episode, you see a janitor just pushing a corpse out of the way, and you never reference it again.
Yeah,
because
that could work. Yeah.
The reason why this sort of stuff is kind of kicking into me is there is such a lack of newness or just I think or just
freshness,
taking a chance with something.
Yeah.
Of call it the auteur, call it just the creative of one person going, actually no, let's do something, and let's do something. I think it's doing zombie stuff. That's how small it is. Everyone does a zombie thing. You get a few buckets of blood.
Yeah.
You get the guys behind the Rooster Brothers. You get the guys behind Ready or Not, Here I Come. You just get a few buckets of blood, and there you go. You get the Walking Dead guys, or sorry, the Walking Dead guys to do the makeup. You're fucking done.
Yeah.
You do this for a week. You say it's out of continuity. You have people in, and that's it. It's there. It is a reflection of, like, you mentioned both Bones and Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
And both were examples. And you could probably, both are examples of a trend that happened a few years ago.
Yeah.
Which was female cop. Actually, Bones was female cop, male specialist. And there was there's tons of these now that they wanted to give the female character authority. They want to give her the gun, essentially.
Yeah.
And the male character became the specialist, because it used to be the case that it would be the beautiful blonde-haired model with the glasses. She's now the expert, and then the guy would go be the
tough guy.
The tough guy.
Do the fighting.
Exactly. They want to flip the script on that, and it has now become so trite. Like Castle was like that. There's one called Forever, which is about a immortal pathologist with the gun-toting female cop.
Okay.
And there's one called Rosewood, where again a pathologist with the female cop. It's not saying that, because whenever I mention this, like, so women can't be cops. No, they can be, but it's that dynamic.
Yeah.
It's always that the females always then tries to be pushed to be a primary, but the expert is still a guy.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's right. I mean, Notwithstanding the so obvious like product placement that was in that show, which was really, really like at one point she's driving her new Toyota, whatever. And she's talking about how easy it is to park in reverse. Because of the features in the car. And you're like, what? Why are you pausing this show to do an advert for this car in the show? And not even like subtly just putting it in as part of the narrative. It's just like, but notwithstanding that, I definitely enjoyed that show. Like,
well, but it doesn't mean that you can't find good things in questionable ground, and that the shows themselves can't entertain. That some of them went on for a long time. That this is a because we could then talk about all the ones that failed. All the ones that lasted, like say, like Forever lasted 13 episodes. Rosewood 13 episodes. You're going to have some that going to survive.
Yeah.
Out of the there's just throwing so much crap at the wall, and it becomes it boils down for me we can like launch into kind of the Star Trek stuff, but it boils down to me that the producers are they want to be seen as the creatives, and they're not. Like if you look at music, for instance, and this is now I've gone on a diatribe. If you look at
we've gone left again.
Yeah, he did it again. If you look at, say, George Martin, from a music point of view, George Martin, who is he?
George Martin, the manager of the Beatles?
The producer of the Beatles, yes.
Producer of the Beatles.
Yeah, he produced some of the best music ever made.
Yeah.
Beatles.
Is he a Beatle? No.
But is he known? No. Everyone up to who Dutch Fig is?
Dutch Fig?
Yeah.
No.
He's one of the guys. He created Garbage, the band, but he's also a very, very well respected producer.
Okay.
He produced some of the if just look him up. And because I'm not a music person.
Okay.
You're the music person, but there's plenty of producers across pop music, rock music that I can't name, as I'm not in that genre, but they take what's there.
Yeah.
And they make it into something good, or they whether it be, I can't remember. There's one
refined talent.
They take the talent that's present, and they essentially put a microphone to it, but they put the right type of microphone to it.
Yeah, it's having a vision of its own. Yeah.
Exactly. There is a skill involved. There's a talent involved in being a good producer. In movies and TV, the term producer means someone else.
Money guy,
but it also means money, and it means scheduling, and it means you can be an incredibly good producer if you are tight with the money. If you've got a tight schedule, a limited number of locations, you have a limited number of time with that actor. You need to hit your marks. You need to make sure that everyone is ready at that point. It's an organizational thing.
Yeah. It's more admin though.
Yes, but you can still be creative within that. But you're not being creative within the story.
No.
This is why someone like, say, Catherine Kennedy. She was a great producer, but she is absolutely terrible as a creative.
Yeah. When
it gets to actually the story generation, and this is something that Spielberg has said many, many times, that she as a producer, she's grand.
Yeah.
As executive producer, she's not.
But I think we talked about this before, whereas like it's not a stick to your lane kind of situation. It's a case of, if you do move lane, be prepared to start from the bottom.
Well,
absolutely. Not necessarily the bottom either, but like you will transfer certain skills over. But if you're brilliant at one thing and decide to do another thing, you can't expect the same level of competence or proficiency.
Yes, and you have to listen to
straight away.
Like,
you don't just wake up the next day the best at this new thing that you're trying for the first time.
Exactly, and even if you think you have, that's the moment where you go, okay, am I that good? Then I'm at the start of my career in this. Could I be even better?
Yeah.
So that's where you still learn, you still listen, you still there's no point, like I could reference at work. There's people I know in work who that they are just fantastic at what they do, and whatever they say is like, if they said black is white, I go, really? Is it not grey? Or so that's like off grey, like an eggshell. Yeah. But it would be. I would actually take pause and go, okay, because they're so good at what they do. So you continue to listen, no matter how good you think you are. There's always something better than you. So if you stop listening, then you're a problem.
Yeah, big mistake.
The problem I'm seeing with and this started off one place is going elsewhere. The amount of creative of people who are given creative roles who are not doing anything.
Okay.
Do you know how many executive producers there are on Star Trek Academy?
Oh, probably 12 or something. I don't know.
19.
19.
There were seven executive producers across the 7 years.
17 too many, I think.
More than that. But the thing is, but each of them has to justify their existence.
Yeah.
And even with a touch of Twitter politics, as you know, because if someone says we have to do it this way, I was like, Twitter is going to like that. Okay, then the good voices get drowned out by the just the mass of people who are not right.
Yeah,
who just want to throw their oar in. So you end up with this.
They're working on their next gig.
And I think it's how much time do you need to give to that? Then you are like, especially since these TV shows are doing 10 episode runs when they used to do 22, 24, like even 26. That used to be a full-time job. Now it's like, okay, well, we'll get the next season, we'll get them in for a few days, and we'll put them into this season. That's
why a lot of shows will end up with no ending. Because we never intended to get cancelled.
Yeah, because
we never wrapped everything up.
But things are getting cancelled because people are getting bored with them.
Yeah,
like the idea that Star Trek is going to be off after Academy is going to be offline for the first time in generations. It's like it's
great.
It's going to be a good thing because then in 10 years, hopefully someone will come back and go, right,
remember all that? Forget it.
Yeah, that was all bullshit. We're going to continue from this point on. The rest of it is going to be wiped clean.
Yeah,
or maybe they'll try and do it, but it's, I think,
restart or kind of make better the mess that was left behind.
I don't know. I would see it if you gave me control, or if you gave me control, I'd hand it to Terry Metalis and go, do your thing. Just having respect to what's gone before, and that's I think the thing is, that is, and I could rant even further about is the reflection of it's like Star Trek is a great example because it's a reflection of the current status of society.
Yeah, but it's been ever present now. Like,
it hasn't, because TOS
feels like it's just all these new shows is just too much. Like when Next Generation came out, it was just that new show.
Yeah.
And there hadn't been anything in 30 years ish. Well, the movies, but yeah. So the movies through the 80s, etc.
Yeah.
But like when the Next Generation came out, it was like this is the show.
Yeah.
It's not like a gremlin or like a mogwai just being hit by a glass of water. It wasn't all these things popping off its back yet. It gave you a decent amount of time to get into Star Trek The Next Generation before they started looking at Deep Space Nine and Voyager. That came later, once everything was kind of firmly couched in how the Star Trek universe is now settled.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, why those spring-off shows kind of worked a little better, is because The Next Generation was so excellent.
Yes.
And it was a solid foundation upon which that they could build these Deep Space Nine, Voyager, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. But
they only have sand now upon which they're building.
Well, no, that's where I would kind of, so what I would disagree slightly by saying that what they're doing is they are doing a copy of a copy.
Yeah,
they are, and they're doing and then they're adding their own things to it, and they're making it worse. Mm-hmm. It's like, make a copy of it, but let's put it in Technicolor. Yeah. They're not actually adding content to it. They're trying to do a version of what's before, and they don't realize they're not good enough to do it, because they have this 20 different person block of executive producers going,
yeah,
you should have to
listen to me.
Exactly. And the rest of the writers are going, what the fuck? Who do we listen to? Even if they're good writers, some of them might be as inured in this cult, essentially. But the TOS was a reflection of Cold War. TNG was a reflection of society at that time hopeful. It was going forward. There, even the darknesses that were like every admiral was seen as the enemy, was ultimately an enemy, but they were still seen as that we're still going forward. We're still progressing. We're still
a lot to learn.
Yeah, and it was about like I remember having conversations about science and about psychology and about all these things that you had people.
It was bookended with it started with Q's judgment of mankind,
and that the judgment never ends. Yeah. So that is you're always
how the entire series was framed is look at how hopeful or how good or how decent mankind can be across the stars and try their best.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like you were saying, the hopeful message that was coming through that was very hopeful for kids like me anyway, and kids like you, I suppose, watching this, seeing these stories. But it started with, let's put humanity on trial.
Oh, sure.
How are you doing?
I wouldn't go that far that you could say the bookends. If the bookends weren't there, then the show would still be as good as it was.
Sure, yeah.
Then you look at the modern versions of them, and they are these hollow reflections of what's gone before, but they are a good reflection of what's happening, because there's plenty new ideas out there. There's plenty of good writers out there, our names excluded. There is plenty of people who want to do good things, but I almost think the audience has been tricked into the fact that there isn't any. Yeah. Because that's why I started off with the idea of taking all these shows and just putting zombies in them just for 1 week.
Yeah,
just for 1 week, and going, let's see how that affects, and
just shake it up a bit. Yeah.
It's more than just Malibu Stacy has got a hat on, and that is a touchstone for when Simpsons was a touchstone, that it so accurately reflected the what would come, and you end up with these shows, Discovery, Academy, Strange New Worlds, that they aren't building something new.
No.
They aren't building a story that you can, like, say, we talked previously about Tin Man.
Yeah.
The idea that they've never gone back to it. They could have. That would be fantastic. That would be amazing. But they never. They have
it's a bit too much of a thinky one. That.
But but you can imagine that there's so many good stories from there that they haven't been touched.
Yeah.
That they've left so much good.
They haven't. Not only haven't been touched, they haven't been watched by these people.
Yes, absolutely.
It feels like.
Oh, they haven't, because you couldn't have written Picard season 1 and Picard season 2 if you've watched any of Next Generation. Yeah. If you Inner Light, he has never experienced family. He has. Okay. He has.
I know we do tend to drift into Star Trek quite.
But the thing is,
we both love it and both watched it.
But it is an education for us. We are not writing
storytelling.
We are not writing either science fiction or fantasy wise. We are not writing Star Trek.
No, we
are writing our own things, and that is the difference here. Where these people who have got control of Star Trek, like we talked before, about how Star Trek Legacy, or the third season of Picard leading in Star Trek Legacy, was fantastic. Why? Because you're taking legacy elements and you have a whole new crew,
treating them with respect.
Exactly, you treat the legacy with respect. And then you go and you send it off and you do it, and it is just so fucking wonderful to see it done well.
Yeah,
and it's so rare to see it. It's so frequently see it done poorly. And see, that's why Gary gets to decide most of the topics.
And on that note,
because I go off on fucking rants.
No, but that is an excellent rant, and that's I think. We've gotten into a good few topics today and dealt with some fictional problems that may arise again.
Yeah, I don't need to visit my therapist this week.
Yeah, we've dealt with actual problems, so perhaps the many actual problems I have. We are going to leave it there for the moment. But yeah, stay tuned for more fictional problems coming down.
Keep watching the skies.
Skies. All the best, everybody. Thanks for listening.